Hello Magic players, this is Jumbo Commander, and I'm deviating from my normal Commander videos to talk about Cube. Today we have more conversations specifically about Vintage Cube. Here's the question for today. In Vintage Cubes, that means the most powerful cards in Magic gathered from all over the place. Are there any cards that are too powerful for this format? Well, let's take a look at all the Magic cards in all of Magic's history and find out if any of them just don't fit in Vintage Cube. Now, there has been one card that's been put in Vintage Cube and taken out, and generally it's decided to be very powerful, but powerful in an unfun way. And that's Time Vault. See, Time Vault enters the battlefield tapped, and then if you can cheat it untapped, like with Tutor's Follower, Ralzeric, or Voltaic Key, then you just get to take infinite turns. And Time Vault was so powerful, you just had to pick it and hope you got one of these enablers. And if you just happen to get this 2-card combo, you kind of won the game on the spot. So people just felt obligated to play it in their cube. A lot of people in Magic Online didn't like it, and I didn't like it in my cube either, so it's not found in a lot of cubes. I also don't like that Tutor's Follower, Ralzeric, and Voltaic Key. They do work with some other cards in cube, they do have some synergies, but they're not real linchpins in the cube format. They're kind of there just for Time Vault. I don't think Tutor's Follower would ever fit into a cube that didn't have Time Vault in it. So, what do you guys think about Time Vault? Are you sad that it's out of the current iteration of Vintage Cube? Do you have it in your cube? Let me know what you think. Is this card just too strong for cube? Now, this is something a known quantity, but there are a few cards that are maybe on the fence that we might have to discuss a little bit. Let's talk about some cards that might be too strong for cube. First up in cards that might be too powerful for cube is a Tutor. And not just any Tutor. Booster Tutor! Notice the silver border on this crazy card from Unhinged. It's 1 black for an instant. Open a sealed Magic booster pack, reveal the cards, and put one of those cards into your hand. Now, if you're using any old pack of Magic cards, this is not good. It's not good at all. But a lot of Magic players, a lot of cube cultivators say that the person that has Booster Tutor can open a cube pack. Oh, this is how I tested and played with this card in my cube, and it turned out to be on the edge of too powerful. It was very, very good. Opening up a cube booster pack and just getting one card out of there can be incredibly, well, variable actually. Like, you can't predict what you're gonna get. It can be crazy powerful, or it can be just fine. One of the benefits of Tutors is it gets what you need at the time. And this really isn't that. What it does is it gets something interesting. So I don't think this is too powerful. I think that this could be too powerful in some situations, but you can easily include this in cube. Not in Magic Online, maybe in your cubes at home, but you could easily include this in your cube and let your friends open up another cube pack to try and figure out what they need out of there. Next, we have a relatively new card called Arcane Savant from Conspiracy 2. 3 blue for a 3/3 human wizard, and I'm going to sum up what the text says there. Basically, Arcane Savant has an enter the battlefield effect of play an instant or sorcery that you drafted that's not in your deck. Okay, so let's kind of run through some scenarios in our mind, like let's say sort of a minimum case scenario. You picked up a lightning bolt. Okay. Arcane Savant comes in, it's a 3/3 for 5 that deals 3 damage to a creature or player. Okay, that's not that bad. I mean, and it's pretty easy to pick up maybe a lightning bolt or a kill spell or something like that. But the opportunities that Arcane Savant has goes up from there. I mean, just think about the instants or sorceries that are in your cube, and specifically the instants or sorceries that are outside of the blue color pot. How about something like Prophetic Bolt? This was played against me recently. Arcane Savant was a 3/3 for 5 that also did 4 damage and impulsed. I mean, it was crazy. The value was insane, and I was like amazed, like, oh my gosh, like Arcane Savant is amazing. But it gets better from there. How about a simple thing like Armageddon? So Armageddon is sometimes pretty powerful because you can curve out and then go with Armageddon and then wipe the board. But with Arcane Savant, you have a threat attached to a Destroy All lands. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to fit in most blue strategies, but it's certainly very, very powerful. But what took the cake was when someone tooth and nailed Arcane Savant. So they played Arcane Savant early, by the way, and then had a tooth and nail attached to it. And by the way, you can pay the Entwine afterwards. So for 7 mana, they got an Arcane Savant 3/3 and 2 fatties from their deck straight onto the battlefield. Yeah, Arcane Savant can be very, very broken, but it's also incredibly fun. I love the idea of breaking the color pie a little bit, about having your other draft cards matter, and also I think it's a really interesting card to play around as well. So I think Arcane Savant might be too powerful, but I'm currently playing him in my cube, and I think he's really, really fun. Next up on Is This Too Powerful for Vintage Cube? Another Conspiracy 2 card, Summoner's Bond. This is a conspiracy where you name 2 creature cards. Alright, whenever you cast a creature spell with one of the chosen names, you may search your library for a creature card with the other chosen name. Reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Wow, this doesn't sound incredibly powerful, but I have to stress how amazing it is. So first off, it's a conspiracy, so this doesn't have to go in your deck. This is just something that augments the deck that you already have. And with a format with so many powerful playables, a card that affects your deck that doesn't go in your deck goes up in value tremendously. Okay, then the second thing is that all it does is augment the good creature cards already in your deck. It links 2 of them together. So basically it's kind of like 2 of your creatures in your deck have draw a card attached to it. And it's not only draw a card, it's draw the other card, the other amazing card that you need. I mean, Summoner's Bond has tons of applications. It can help you get combo pieces. You know, you can link Pestermite and Kiki-Jiki. Oh my gosh. This could even just be a value conspiracy. I mean, you play your Birds of Paradise and it lets you get your Kitchen Finks or your Mana Gorge or Hydra, so you can always go 1 drop into 3 drop. The value of a card that augments your deck that isn't in your deck is crazy powerful, and I have to say, guys, this is too strong. I cut it from my cube. My players dislike Summoner's Bond. What do you think? Is this card too strong? It's very unassuming, but I think it's over the top. Let's argue. Let's talk about it. Next up is a hilarious card called Sovereign's Realm. Okay, let's take a look at this crazy conspiracy. Your deck can't have basic land cards, and your starting hand size is 5. Okay. By the way, starting off at a starting hand size of 5 is a huge disadvantage. All right. Exile a card from your hand. This turn, you may play basic land cards from outside the game. Basic lands you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Okay, so basically this means that we will never be mana screwed or mana flooded. So you have infinite consistency in your deck, but your card advantage is down significantly. You're down 2 cards from the very beginning. Now, having perfect mana, never flooding, never being screwed, is that worth 2 cards? I actually have to say, yeah, it is. I drafted a Sovereign's Realm deck, and it is so much fun to just take whatever awesome card you want and just go crazy. I actually misdrafted it pretty heavily and still just destroyed the draft. The key to Sovereign's Realm is card advantage. So I actually first picked Painful Truths, pack 3, over a lot of other cards because I realized at that point in time that I just needed card advantage to make it up. And Painful Truths netted me 3 cards. It was like one of the best cards in my deck. I was like picking cards that cost too much mana. Like Sovereign's Realm by definition is a very mid-rangey deck because you never want to just keep throwing away cards over and over again to get up to your Elish Norn. You know what I mean? Like you would rather be playing those cards. And so Sovereign's Realm is kind of mid-range gas-tastic. It's very, very powerful. Another added benefit of Sovereign's Realm is that you get to play whatever basic land you want, and then those just add whatever mana you want. So one thing that's really cool is I actually had a Vidalcan Shackles in my deck, and so every land I played was an island. And so it was just island, 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 and then I had a Vidalcan Shackles that could take whatever I wanted and perfect mana, and that was very cool. This also works if you have Rafellos in your deck, and you can just play Forest, Forest, Forest. You could also avoid certain mana, like Sundering Titan could blow up your board, but if you have all the same basic land, you know, you're pretty immune to that. Also things like Inkwell Leviathan, you might want to dodge that by not playing islands. But still, Sovereign's Realm has a lot of cool corner cases. It's very fun to draft, and it just might be too strong for Vintage Cube. This has been Jumbo Commander doing a little bit of Cube content. I want to thank you all for watching, and if you like this kind of stuff, make sure to let me know, and I will keep doing Cube stuff. Actually, I'm probably going to keep doing Cube stuff, whether you guys like it or not, because I love it so much. So much. But what I do want to hear in the comments, am I right? Did I miss any cards? Is Sovereign's Realm and Summoner's Bond too powerful for Cube, or am I exaggerating? Let's argue, guys. I want to see you in the comments.